What is up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday night. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. It is Todd. I always feel so weird announcing myself. Tis I. It's not something normal people do, I think, unless you're standing in front of a camera. But I'm Todd Wanish. If this is the first time you're watching this video, I am the founder of Adult Fantasy. And this is the Evening Alpha Show, where we sit around and we chill out and we talk about the things happening in the NFT universe. Yeah, it's Friday night, and it is wonderful. If you don't know who I am, besides the whole adult fantasy thing, I am a 20. Is it 26 years yet? I don't know. I'm just gonna say 25 to make myself feel younger. So 25-year veteran of the comic and animation world. And adult fantasy is the place to be. You can go to www.adultfantasy.io to learn more. We are creating the world's first decentralized, fan-owned, fan-run, fan-created universe. We are going after Marvel and doing things that they could only dream of doing. And there's big stuff coming. So please join us. The Discord's always hopping. We got some great people. Got some good news for you tonight. Tonight's gonna be kind of chill. Got some fun stuff. And before we jump in, let's go ahead and over to chat and we'll see who's here. Hey, look at that. Studio's here. What's up, Studio? How are you? Let's go. Absolutely. J-Raw, what's up? Hey, J-Raw, I just love your icon, man. That cracks me up every time. Every time I see it, man. I love it. Welcome, welcome. Willie D, how you doing? Top of the evening. Glad to have you here. Carrots, as always. Happy Friday night. Hey, Misfit Corner. Misfit Corner Scams is here. Don't worry, guys. I know Misfit Corner. He's not a scam artist. That's the name of his channel. He's a good dude. You might want to change the name of your title, though. It just seems like you're a scam artist. You're like I guess you'd have to be the world's worst scam artist, though, to have like the name Scams in your title. Yeah, he's got a pretty funny channel. So everybody should hop over to Misfit Corner Scams and check it out because it's pretty good, actually. All right, guys, welcome. So before we get started on some of the new stuff, I got a couple of fun things to show you guys. First, just gonna pop this over here, do a little bit of plugging before we go into deeper stuff. Willie D says scam alert. Yes. It'd be a lot easier if the scam artists actually put the word scams in their title in like all caps, wouldn't it? It'd be pretty funny. So in case you didn't know, we are hiring. We are hiring across the board on a multitude of areas, but the biggest two that I'm going for is community manager and social media badass. So what is a community manager? If you know a lot about Discord, if you've run other Discord communities, or if you feel like you would have a good handle on it, join us. We're looking to hire. And you know, I don't know if you've ever worked on building a Discord community. It's a full-time job. Makes it a little harder when the team is a product-based company. We definitely want to get Discord popping and keep it moving and keep it growing. So if you are hopping in Discord and you know what to do, we have the plans. We know it works. We just need people who can come in, hit their numbers, hit their metrics. We're a data-driven company. Yeah, if you like data and you like hitting numbers and you like hitting metrics, like hitting that push-up number, hit me up and we can do something. Also, we're hiring for social media. Same thing with Twitter. Twitter's awesome. We have some really good, awesome plans, but it takes time and we need someone to help out with that. So if you're really good at Twitter and possibly TikTok as an option, hit me up. And ultimately, what we're really looking for is somebody who's super dedicated and has a sense of humor. Like what I found over the course of a long time hiring people is if you are passionate about something, in my mind, passion and dedication and the willingness to learn beats some kind of weird rock star status like every single time. All right. So if you're out there and you're watching this and you're like, man, I've done Discord, I've run a Discord server, but I don't really know, and I'm not really sure. Hit us up. You know what I mean? These things can be taught. What can't be taught is your determination and your drive and your willpower. right? If you're someone with dedication and drive and willpower and ready to put in work, that's what we're looking for. Everything else can be taught. So hit us up. I'd love to speak with you. You can either hit Shiraboom, although she got hit. Shiraboom got hit with a bunch of replies. I think a little more than she was expecting. So you can hit me up too. You can just DM me in Discord or just call me out in Discord and I'll answer. But yeah, like we're still on the hunt. We'll probably be on the hunt for a couple of weeks. So feel free to pop in. Misfit says, I'm one of the good scammers. I only scam scammers. I'm like Dexter. He's a serial guy who only X's out serial guys. So you're calling yourself oh, I see. You're a scammer that scams scammers. That's kind of cool. That's a little MacGyver, man. Misfit Corner's going full MacGyver on it. J-Ross says, I'm here now. Yep. Sup, y'all, Rageous. Hey, what's up? What's up, Rageous? How's it going? Welcome. All right, so enough of the shilling of the stuff. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to pop over. And I have something to share. And this is something interesting with Web3 and something that I get excited about. So you guys know that I'm a huge comic nerd, as if you couldn't tell by my backdrop behind me. Oh, have that. And obviously, this is not a green screen. It fully wraps around right here. You can't see it, but right here is my animation table, like my old school Cartoon Network animation table. I got toys above the desk. I can't move the camera right now, but I'll have to do a shot like at some point so you can see this. I even have I've got like lunch boxes that are signed and all kinds of crazy shit. It's exactly what you would expect. There's nothing crazy about it. It's exactly what you would expect. But one of the things that I found interesting, I'm always interested in the experience that a project or a startup or a company provides to the people who purchase from them. And so I was an early buyer of Punk's comic because it was a comic book. Like that was about as deep as it went. I was like, oh, the art's cool. I was familiar with Chris Wall's work. Don't know him personally, but I knew the name and I'd seen him around. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So they got a legit guy, like someone who can actually do stuff. The work was cool. And at that point, like when I bought the Punk's comic stuff, I don't even think I understood half the stuff I was reading, like burn mechanics and DAOs and fractionalization. Like I'm pretty sure that was still really new to me at that point, but I did it anyway, and I held on to the Punk's comic NFT, and so yesterday afternoon I got in this, right? So this is the Punk's comic deliverable, right? And I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see this, and you can see like it's got the little, come on, focus. Camera doesn't ever, high definition camera doesn't want to focus. Let's see if I can tap it. No. Anyway, you can kind of get the idea. It says, there you go. Punk's comic issue number 1, proof of authenticity, hunt for the lost Robbies, and then it's the edition number, and then issued by Pixel Vault. Now there aren't 10,000 comics because it was a burn mechanic, right? So I guess they picked it off the original the token ID. But what's interesting is there's a couple things interesting about this. The first is that I can tell that these guys understand comics. And the reason I can tell that they understand comics is that so this is a it's BCW. So it's a BCW case, right? So this is how it was shipped. It was shipped in the case. Came fine. I'm actually surprised it didn't get cracked, but they packaged it okay. It was in a like a bubble wrap sleeve, and then big padded bubble wrap top and bottom. But it worked. Like it worked. It definitely didn't crack. It didn't break. But what got me, and because I'm so deep in the comics, and I've been a collector for my whole life. What really surprised me with it, though, is that it's obvious to me that, well, let me say it's not obvious. What I'm betting they did is I'm betting that they ordered 10,000 books and then sifted through them to only keep the ones that were in superb condition, because this comic is like, I don't know if you can tell just on camera, but if you look at the edges, like this comic is like a 9.8, 9.9, like it's really crisp. Like there's no like, usually you have wear, some kind of wear from where the book is like moved or opened over here. There's nothing there. It's like, it's just like it came from the box to the case, it's never been moved. And that's how I used to collect. That's how I still collect. I still flip for the best ones when I go buy one. So, and this also supports something that I've been thinking for since they came out, which is, I was wondering why they did what they did. And I think, and I could be wrong, this is complete speculation, but it's always been my belief that they overestimated how easy, or I should say they overestimated thinking it was going to be easy to get these cases, right? The problem is that most businesses don't have 10,000 of these cases lying around. Add to that the fact that you had COVID and you had supply chain issues. This was really hard to do. And I knew when they said, yeah, we're going to ship it in a case. In fact, not a lot of people remember this, but the original pitch was that it was going to be a graded book. You were going to get a graded book. And I said, there's no fucking way. Like, there's no way they're going to do 10,000 graded books. It's not possible. And the reason it's not possible is because CGC and PSA and all the grading companies take, like, if you put 5 books with them, it takes them like 6 months. Like, they're notoriously slow. So you give them 10,000 books and you can forget it. Like, you're not getting anything. You're never going to see it again. So I said, well, that's not going to happen. And so what I think they did, and I don't know, this is pure speculation, but I think the burn mechanic, one, saved their ass, and two, I think the burn mechanic, I don't know if it was there as an original idea or if it was there to cut down the number of comics. So I think they did the burn mechanic originally to cut down on the number of comics they had to print. Plus, it was a cool mechanic. Like, I think it was a win-win. It was like, hey, we get this really cool mechanic, and people will burn the NFT, and they get some other things that'll increase rarity and demand, and it'll mean that we don't have to pay as much for the actual comics, because if there's only 4,000 comics, we only have to pay for 5,000 comics minted. Like, you don't have to pay for it all. But I think when they started promising the case, I think they realized they really needed to push the burning and get the burning window a little bit more, because I think they had to wait a long ass time for I don't know how many comics are out there, but maybe 4,000 or 5,000 at least, maybe a little over 5,000. So yeah, it was it's really interesting to see, and I also have to say it's an interesting experience, and I don't think people really understand it yet, because receiving this in the mail was different. It was a different feeling. And this is also for like, I know J-Raw is thinking about doing a magazine or something. Like, this is interesting. Speaking from a customer, right? It was a different emotional experience than Kickstarter, right? So we know the experience of okay, I'm going to go to Amazon and I'm going to go buy something. Cool. So Amazon, you go buy something, you get it. Like, there's no, it's kind of, you get a little bit of a dopamine kick when you open the door and there's a package there, but you expect it because you ordered it. Kickstarter has a little bit more of a dopamine kick because you order it and then the delivery of it is really slow because you're pre-buying, right? Most of these products have not been created yet. So you're pre-purchasing this thing. And so when that thing comes to your door, it's like a nice surprise, but it's also kind of like oh, finally, yes, it's here. Finally, I waited so long. And I'm using Kickstarter as a generic term. Any crowdfunding, Indiegogo, any crowdfunding venture. This was different because it was an NFT, and I bought the NFT, and it came with a digital comic. And then I was, like you guys are in kind of normal NFT world, you're kind of thrown into this hole of like airdrops and burning and staking and all of the game mechanics and earning tokens if you're staking and this and that and all of the stuff that goes on with NFTs. And then all of a sudden you get a pop-up that says, hey, we're going to deliver this thing to you. And you're like, okay, screw it. Here's my address. So you put your address in just like you would with Amazon or anything else, but you're not really thinking much of it. You're like, cool, I'll get this in the mail. It was a very different feeling to open the door and get this comic in the mail, because one, I didn't buy it as a comic. I bought it as an NFT, right? So it was like, oh, wow. It was almost like, oh my God, the NFT isn't here. The NFT is here in physical form. Like, that's so weird. Like the NFT that I have, that I own in my wallet, is now a package on my floor. And so that was the first thing that I thought was really interesting. And then the second thing that I found was interesting is that this, and I don't think, and this is just between you and me, and this is some inside baseball for you guys. Take this as not financial advice, but something that I'm thinking about. Here's all I say. If you are kind of like a auction site dumpster diver like I am, and you're going to like Heritage or Sotheby's or Christie's, especially Heritage, I think this is a Heritage find. I would keep an eye out for, not now because the people are just getting them, but a couple weeks, couple months, maybe a year or two. I would keep an eye out for these comics hitting Heritage. And the reason I say that is because it dawned on me that to own this comic, you have to own the Punks comic NFT. The Punks comic NFT has a floor price, right? The Punks comic NFT floor price is thousands of dollars. I don't know what it is today, but it's not. It's more than $1,000. We all know that, right? It's several $1,000s, which means like that this could be worth something, right? So now it's not a guarantee. Everything is different, completely different market, all kind of stuff. I'm actually thinking the same way. I missed my chance on getting the Damien Hirst NFT when it came out. So I've been looking for it on the auction sites, right? Because I'm curious if the auction site, when the Damien Hirst original comes out on Heritage, which I'm sure it will, is it going to match? Like the Damien Hirst NFT, I think is like 4 ETH, which is about 12 grand right now. So you can buy the NFT for $12,000 right now and get the original Damien Hirst, because you can burn the NFT and get the original Damien Hirst. Or you can wait for it to get to Heritage, and are people going to know to sell it for 12 grand? Or are they going to know that it's worth 12 grand, right? Is the buyer going to sell it for 12 grand as a floor price? Or are they going to try to just start the bottom price at like $2,000 and see what happens? Nobody knows, but it's a very interesting thing to think like, wait, this comic book might be like more valuable than, I don't know, the first appearance of Punisher or something, right? Like that's a very strange thing to think about, because it's tied to an NFT price. And I don't think anybody's thought about that. I really don't. I don't think anybody. I think you're hearing it from me, and that's only because I'm a super dork. But everybody else, I promise you, most of the people who are getting this comic book in the mail are like, oh, it's a cool comic book. That's really cool. Hey, that's super neat. Thanks, guys. And they're like, yeah, it's a cool comic. They probably won't open it, which is fine because they have the digital, but I don't think they're thinking about it in terms of value and in terms of like, no, to get the comic, you had to hold something that is worth several $1,000s, which means that the comic book may be worth several $1,000s. Now, I don't know. It might not be, I don't have any clue. But it is something fun to think about. So I wanted to bring that to your attention because I thought it was just from a project, from a NFT fan and an NFT buyer and a collector and a project owner. That emotion, that feeling is important to catch, especially since we're into comics and stuff might happen. So it's just good to know. It's just good. It's good to feel. Anyway, let's see what you guys are saying about this. Let's see. J-Raw, background is green screen. We are OB members. It is. It's totally green. I'm actually in a basement. There's nothing behind me. It's actually stone. It's just a green screen. Yeah, kind of what I want to do, but with yeah, right, exactly. Kind of what you want to do, but with magazines. So it really is an interesting feeling, and I got to say, like having it in a case. So normally when comics are shipped from like crowdfunded campaigns or indie comics, they're usually shipped in Gemini mailers. Gemini mailers are awesome. They're super thick. They're durable. Every book that I've ever gotten in a Gemini mailer is has arrived in pristine condition. And a Gemini mailer sounds fancy, but it's just a brand. And really all it is just really thick cardboard. It's like a thick cardboard case. You put your book in the case and it wraps over like a couple of times, and it's just like a fat package. It's really nice. And that I think is fine. I wonder about the value out of the case. It's certainly nice. It means I don't have to buy one. And when you think about it, like I don't remember what the mint price was for the comic, but let's say it was like $250 or $300, which was kind of like the normal price. You're like, yeah, okay. So they invested in the cases for it. Like that actually feels like a value. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, I bought a comic and it was in a case and they sent it to me and I paid $250. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, man, J-Raw, you should think about that, especially when you get to starting to think. I mean, you might be a little ways away yet, but if you start to think about logistics and packaging and shipping, you have to start worrying about weight and logistics of packages and all kinds of crazy stuff. So you might want to check out. I don't know if they make Gemini mailers for magazines, but they might. I think they actually do. That's kind of the normal way. But you know, putting it in a nice protective shell is pretty dope. So something to think about. Carrot says, I have a bunch of sports cards and I was going to grade, but the wait time is insane. Yeah, that's right. Like the wait time is nuts. So you just have to send it away and forget about it. And that's why when like and that, to be fair, I can't remember who said it. My mind says that it was G Funk who said it, but it might have been Beanie who sometimes says things. But like someone from the Punks team on multiple occasions was like, you're getting a graded book. It was probably even on the website, you're getting a graded book, and you did not get a graded book. I haven't seen anyone complain about it. But I also think I'm the only one that would. There's only a few real comic nerds I think that were actually bought Punk's comic who'd be like, holy shit, a graded book, really? Okay, that's dope. You know, I was actually surprised that they went that way. But I'm glad they made the choice. Kara says, Todd, speaking my language, Heritage is so fun to browse. Dude, Heritage is my addiction. I started. It's like home buying. You're first. You got to be careful because it's like home buying. You're just like, oh, I'm just going to look for a house. We're not buying anything. I mean, I don't have any money. I'm not going to buy a house. And the next thing you know, you've bought a house. The Heritage, yeah, Heritage is painful. It's gotten worse too. It's actually gotten worse because, like, and tell me if this is the case for you guys. Like, since being in the NFT space, you know, like my idea of money is all fucked up. Like, you know, I think in ETH now. I really do. I think in ETH. I'm like, is it 1 ETH? Is it 0.25 ETH? Is it 0.05? Oh, it's 0.04. That's great. Like, and I know the conversion number, the conversion metric pretty well on average, depending on the price per day. But just a few years ago, the meme is true, right? $1,000. No way. I'd never pay that. Oh, it's only 1 ETH. Down. Total steal. Like you just pay more in ETH. You're just used to paying more and expecting higher prices. So now when I go on Heritage and I'm looking at like these classic covers, it's just ridiculous, man. It's really tempting, you know, especially since I'm interested in comics and fine art. In fact, what I used to do, and I haven't done this in a while, maybe we should do this. We could add this to one of the evening alphas. is I'm always on Heritage, and I have an endless amount of bookmarks of things that I'm looking at, and I try to stare long enough at it and absorb the image long enough that I won't buy it. If that makes sense, like I just ingrain it in my brain, or like right click save, just steal the JPEG, you know. But we could do that. We could go through some of the Heritage stuff because man, some of the stuff that's going on like in those auctions just blows my mind, especially with the comic art. Carrots, let me know in the comments, have you bought from Heritage before? They're good to work with. I've bought a few things from them. They're awesome. JR says exactly, the physical will have a value of its own. Exactly. It's a parallel market, right? And you also see it's a brilliant move, man, because it's a lot of work. I've printed my own comics before. I've got some over here. But it's a big process. But especially nowadays with social media and everything, like you see what's happening with Punk's comic. What happens? They get it in the mail and they take pictures of it and they put it on Twitter and say thank you. Like, so from a marketing standpoint, it's brilliant. From a delivery standpoint, it's brilliant because you're giving people something that they don't normally get. It ties NFTs to real things, which is a big deal, I think. And it's fun. It's fun to get stuff in the mail, right? It's fun to get stuff in the mail. So I'm all for it, man. I want to see, you got to keep us in touch with your magazine, because I think that's going to be dope. Previews magazine, but for NFTs. JR says, I'm trying to think of a system that's not all of the NFT holders will get a physical, so I wouldn't have to print the same quantity, but I don't know how that will work yet. I'm trying to think of a system so not all of the NFT holders will get a physical. So you could certainly do rarity type, but I will tell you the interesting thing, you'll just have to work with your printer. But the more you print, the lower the cost. So you may actually want to do the opposite, even if you're limiting. Let's say you have 1,000 people that get the magazine, right? You may actually still want to print like 3,000 because it might be cheaper than printing 1,000, right? And then you can use those other 2,000 for promos or for gifts, or you could just set them on fire, like whatever, recycle them, J-Raw. But but yeah, it's a balancing act for sure. It absolutely is. And you'll have to do what Carrots did and clean out your garage so you can like have pallets of books. Carrot says, I have yet to purchase from Heritage. Worried about the rabbit hole. Yeah, dude, it's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. If you think getting a comic book in the mail or a small package in the mail is pretty cool, like when you have a giant carton, it's amazing. Like I've got a bunch of original art over here. I mean, not all of it's from Heritage, but I've collected for over the years. I don't have anything like immediate. But like, yeah, I have a Jack Kirby piece and like some Alex Toth stuff because I'm a huge Alex Toth fan. God, I've got a lot of animated cells. Stuff you would expect me to be attracted to, like just weird off the wall stuff. But I'll have to show it. I'll have to bring some of it up. Heritage is wonderful. I recommend it. I have it down to a science. I think we'll have to talk about it. Maybe we'll do like a Heritage evening alpha call, because I feel pretty like, just like NFTs, I've gotten to a point with Heritage where like I have this methodology of like how much I think the price is going to go. And so it allows me to budget and kind of decide how much I want to spend. But yeah, and I think because of inflation and the way the world is going, like the prices are going up on a lot of stuff, man. People are jumping at throwing their money into collectibles, which is, I think, another reason why NFTs are so hot right now. J-Ross says, how much can I pay you for a business advisor role? Man, just ask me. I'm here, dude. That's what I'm here for. You don't have to pay me anything. Just hit me up. Any of you guys. Like, I love doing this stuff. Like, I advise startups for a living, man. Like, I've been a mentor and advisor for a long time. I love it to death. So anything you guys want, you just ask me and I'll deliver it. I promise. I'll do my best anyway. Carrot's got a spot. J-Ross says Carrot's got a spot on the team wherever he wants. Only if he wants to make something legendary with me, though. No pressure. That's right. Only legendary shit. Only legendary shit. That's it. That's what we got here, man. You guys kick ass. I love you guys. All right, so in tune with with what we're talking about with collectibles and uh, you know, becoming successfully financial in NFTs, and how can we do this? Certainly as a project owner, or or not even my project, not even adult fantasy, just any project, if they can deliver some type of physical collectible. The comic is a great example. A lot of companies do apparel. Although it blows my mind that people wear them. Like, total sidebar, if you're lucky enough to get a Bored Ape or some kind of hot NFT, um, like hot NFT property apparel line, for love of, for my own soul, just keep it in the damn bag. Like, everyone's taking photos of them wearing it out, and I'm like, you're just ruining it. Like, you're just ruining it. Like, it's a collectible, man. Don't you get it? It's supposed to, mint condition. It's mint condition. Put it in a poly bag. You put it in a poly bag, and you put it on a shelf, and you stare at it for the rest of your life, and then you sell it, and you get all your money back plus like 10x. So just, or send me one. You can wear yours. Send me one. Anyway, so in keeping with this idea of being financially successful in NFTs, I found this thread that was light and fun and pretty interesting, and I wanted to share it. So I'm going to pop this on, and we'll talk about it real quick. All right, so this is from Christopher Smith. I'm not familiar with him, but he's got a check mark, which is pretty cool. And this is actually a really great thread. He says, want to succeed financially in NFTs, Anon? Here's a thread on why buying into a blue chip project and holding for a long time gives you the best chance, and a look at the ApeCoin airdrop whales that have done this so successfully. So this is a post from Dingling. Funny name, major player in the NFT space. If you don't know who he is, he's a mega whale. If you don't know what this image is, this is a snapshot of all of his. This is his Bored Ape collection, and it's jaw dropping. Like, just to afford this at mint, you had to have a lot of capital. But forget at mint. He's got, I counted the number of apes. He had I think 112, 113. So let's just say he's got 112 Bored Apes, and then multiply that times the dogs, and then times the mutants and several potions, and then understand that the Bored Ape floor, I think, is around $300,000. So each one of these is worth $300,000. So I didn't do the math on that. You guys can do the math on that. These images, this right here is, well, I mean, JRNY Crypto, JRY, what's his name? JRNY Crypto. He had 100 apes. He got lucky. Well, he got smart, and he kept them. And I think he showed a screenshot that his airdrop for ApeCoin was $16 million. The airdrop. So we're talking like $50-60 million in NFTs here. So that's just kind of an aside, but looking at like blue chip projects and how holding works, and what we can learn. And then I'll give you my thoughts on it as well, of course. So starting early last summer in 2021, demand for NFTs far outstripped supply. You could throw darts and land on winners every week, almost irrespective of the quality of the project. That was definitely true, especially if you were willing to sell rather quickly. Selling aside that misleading season, it's really hard to trade NFTs successfully. Let's have a quick refresher on some of the primary obstacles you face. And he's got some links to other things. Number one, taxes. In the United States, you pay your income tax rate on any short-term NFT gains. You're capped at 28% on long-term gains, right? So that means everyone who's in the States and they're flipping, they're making money, but they're going to pay a crazy amount of tax on that. So there's a good chance that you're going to lose your ass. Even if you made a really good profit, like, the government's coming for you for that, right? Number two is fees. You typically pay OpenSea and the collection slash artist a percentage on every sale you make. Exactly. So the longer you hold, the less fees you pay. Can you calculate strike price plus gas cost plus platform fee plus project fee plus taxes owed to figure out your precise break-even point? Can you do it in real time with small margins in a dynamic, fluctuating market? Can you stay level-headed? Right? And the answer is probably no, because that just makes my my head spin. Number three, competition. The NFT market isn't as efficient as the stock market, but data analysis, research, and code-assisted trading have advanced very far in a short time. Uh, Macro trend. Even Keyboard Monkey 3 doesn't win on every bet he makes. Can you predict when the market turns, right? This stuff is very, very hard to do. Number five, time. Can you spend all day, every day, putting in stink with bids, monitoring discords, tracking upcoming roadmap items, researching project founders, and studying the equity, crypto, and NFT markets? Yeah, it's incredibly hard. The answer again is probably no. Now for a word of caution. Holding an NFT project for 1+ years doesn't guarantee success. For every Bored Ape Yacht Club, there's a Misfit University or Apemon. Holding does not equal a guaranteed success. Yeah, poor Misfit University and Apemon. I mean, that's Apemon. Look, that looks like a great project. Look at that egg. That's such a cool freaking thing, man. Yeah, Apemon was a rug. Misfit University made some errors in judgment that kind of wiped the project. Yeah, it's painful. One more preface. It is okay to sell your NFTs whenever you want at whatever price you want. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise or shame you for doing so. You get to be in full control. Trading NFTs or betting big on brand new projects at or close to inception takes so much skill, luck, a huge bankroll, and a giant pain threshold. Ain't that the truth? If you want to make a very strong ROI in NFTs while limiting your risk relative to NFTs, there's another way. The Easiest Nft Strategy. Buy blue chip NFT projects once it's clear there's a strong team behind them that are constantly delivering and a community that feels engaged and excited. Concentrate your holdings around a very small number of the best projects and hold. That is the key. I'm going to come back to this because this is like 100% the right way to do things. I'll tell you more about my thoughts on this in just a second. There are four main skills needed: the ability to say no to buying almost every project, patience, conviction, financial stability. Back to Bored Ape Yacht Club and those diamond-handed ape coin whales. You may not have the same initial capital or bankroll as people like Dingaling, Captain Trippy, OGD Farmer, Election Day Mad One, Machi Big Brother, and others, but you can do exactly what they did on your own scale. It's easy to dismiss these giants, and here's Captain Trippy's collection, which is also just massive. It's easy to dismiss these giants as irrelevant to your own bags, but trust me on this, they didn't reach March 2022 with such a huge bag of BAYC assets by sheer luck and good fortune in their life. They held BAYC at 118 ETH, down to 68 ETH, and then back up to 108 ETH again just this year. People like RDM41, Carson Turner, Neon Apes, YC, and Economist, and many more are succeeding because at every turn, they're optimizing for the long term. It's not that they never sell. It's that they zoom out and understand months and years are more important than minutes and days. So number one, find the best teams. Number two, concentrate your holdings in them. Number three, hold for a long time despite any ups and downs. And then he says, this is not a perfect formula, but it is a formula that anyone can follow. Don't take more risk on NFTs than you should, but this can change your life. Sometimes it's not about making moves, being slick, and identifying the next BAYC. It's okay to pull your NFT money, stick it into an elite project, and do nothing but wait. I think this is brilliant advice. This is exactly what I do and what I've moved into, because I got caught in the hype of 2021 early, even before Adult Fantasy. And I was buying on the mint and then kind of trying to figure out how this whole thing worked. Nowadays, like I've told you guys before, like I very rarely mint I very rarely mint on mint day. Um, Maybe if it's a friend or a trusted project, I will. Um, but I just find I've had so much more luck waiting until the mint is over, going on to secondary, paying a little more for it, and then either paying a little bit more, usually after the reveal, because now the reveals are pumps. But once the reveal's over and the prices come down, I find a better strategy for myself. Again, not financial advice. Do your own research, yada yada. Um, Waiting till it comes down and then looking at the floor and seeing what pieces that I like. And by giving it just a couple of days, you can tell, you can see the community, you can tell the price. I'm not really super worried about price um for myself, or like floor price, because I mean, and I'm biased, of course. But I put heavy weight into the team, because I understand that that's important. Team history. What have they done before? Are they actually, have they delivered on other things so that I can trust them to deliver on this thing? The same things that I would hope that you guys look at with us, right? Like, it's not rocket science. I mean, it's what is it? I think it even says it here. Um, Darn it, team something or other. Find the best teams, concentrate your holdings in them, hold for a long time despite any ups and downs, and that's it. Like, um, so once I go in and I get something and I'm kind of like, okay, this looks pretty cool, and I think the team is good, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. I just forget about it, man. Um, that's honestly how my entire comic collection and my art collection, that like my comic art collection and my fine art collection. Look, I'm not the Rockefellers, but it's most of the things that I and my friends have collected over the years, whether it's comics or toys or what have you, went up. I mean, I used to collect Transformers and I would keep them in the box just because it felt right before I was even I was a kid. And like my family wouldn't have to throw the box out. My friends would try to destroy the boxes. And I'm like, no, it's got to keep it in mint condition. Like, just keep it. And now a mint condition Optimus Prime in a box is worth how much? Like thousands. It's thousands of dollars. So there's something to be said for saying, look, I believe in this. It's fucking cool. I'm just gonna buy it and hold it and not look at it and move on. Now that doesn't mean that you blindly um you don't it doesn't mean you just diamond hand it without ever looking at it again, right? You got to check back on the team. Things change daily. um you know um Events happen where you that force you to consider things. um I'm going through one right now with like, so I'm in a Cool Cats. I got in Cool Cats early, like right after mint, and I love it. I dig my Cool Cat. I think uh the team is great. I've spoken like uh through chat with Extreme Tom, who's the dev over there, the main, like the co-founder, helped us out. Extreme Tom helped Adult Fantasy out. He put us in Paper Cats, which was like a Discord that he had where they were helping out devs and stuff. um, so super awesome community, super good team, like really good. And I've held through all the ups. I think that the high was like 15 ETH for the floor, and now it went back down to like 6 or 7, and now it's back up to 9, and or 9 and change or something. And then they've had trouble with their launch. Like, they're supposed to launch this game, and then the Polygon network is all crapping out on them or something. And I don't even know all the details of it, but they're having a lot of trouble with this massive game they launched. That's another tale for another time about how you should launch really small, and not do big things. But that's a story for a different time. But they're doing this massive project, and then they went to launch it, and it just borfed. Like, it didn't go. It just broke, and the speed was slow. And it's not their fault either. It was they chose to go on Polygon, and Polygon can't handle it for some reason. I don't know why, but it makes you think. All of a sudden, everything starts. They definitely had people in the community who started flooding the project, like, "Oh, this is crap. The thing's not going to launch. It's a da 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 da." Now I've been around long enough to know that the team is, I believe, in my opinion, my humble opinion, that the team is solid as a rock. Like, they're very fucking good. Um, but you know, they were supposed to launch like 2 or 3 months ago, or I shouldn't say that, NFT time. It could have been last week. They're supposed to launch a little while ago, but they haven't been able to launch the product, and so everyone's just kind of sitting on their hands waiting. Um, so what do you do? Do you sell or do you hold? So I chose to hold. And then today it came out that they got picked up by CAA. They're going to get like an animated show. I'm sure of it. Like, they're a top tier project. So what that does to the price, I don't know. What that does to sentiment, I don't know. But that's why I hold, because I believe in it. I have been tempted to sell it because I'm like, man, 15 ETH, I could put that into like, I'm looking at, some of these other projects that are near top tier, and I'm like, man, maybe I could just go into that project, but I it's I've chosen to hold for a while. So um it's that patience, it's that conviction, and the financial stability. Like, I don't, if God forbid I needed the money, I'd cash out that Cool Cats NFT in a heartbeat. Like, I wouldn't think twice about it. Right. But you have to remember that we're year one. Like, we haven't even started yet. And these guys are the same way. And again, they have the financial stability. Like, if you can buy 100 Bored Apes, you're not really worried about rent money or eating or your car payment. You know what I mean? Like, you pretty much got those bills covered. So you have time on your side. But it takes a lot of conviction to just hold 100 of these things and not flip it when they could have flipped one. Just, if you have 100 of them, why didn't you just flip one for and make 300 grand? You know what I mean? Like, they just chose not to do it. And so I think it's really important for you guys to think about this. And this is my plan for the future as well. Find the best teams, concentrate your holdings in them, and hold for a long time. I have a document that I keep called my wants list. And all it is like it's my damn it, I wish I owned it list, right? It's just like, oh man, I missed it. I missed the mint, or it rocketed up, or I didn't have the liquidity at the time. And I'm like, man, I just wish I owned one. And so I have a running list of all of these projects that I wish I had. Uh, and I use that as a goal, so that as I move forward, um, when I have a little bit of capital, I can go back and get one of them, right? And these will be projects that I know have been around for a while by that point, right? My daydream for my family is I think I have it in me as a collector and a fan to have like a top tier like an NFT art collection, right? And I think it would be fun as hell to do. Like, I get it. I know the space. I'm all over it. I'm like, okay, cool, and I'm pretty good at picking winners. So I find a lot of enjoyment out of that. Certainly, I can't afford 100 damn Bored Apes. That's crazy. But you don't have to. You can just look at what came out in 2021. Say, okay, maybe it's a couple of ETH, which is like incredibly outside of your bounds. You're like, man, that's like 10 grand. I can't do that. Okay, fine. Don't worry about it. Find the one that's like half an ETH. Find the one that's like 0.3. Like there are so many things out there that are going to explode over the next 5, 10, 15 years. That's why I truly believe, and I said this before and I'll say it again. If you're in now, and I know everyone says, oh, if you're in now, you're early. I mean, if you're in now and you're actually working the game and you're learning how things work, you're going to be financially independent in 5 years. Guaranteed. Like, I cannot see how, if you are doing your research and you're educating yourself and you're experimenting just a little bit just to try things like, what's a burning mechanic do? What's a staking do? How do I pair? What is pairing? Like, what's a pool? Like, if you're just doing your research and trying to experiment just a little bit, all it takes is one of these damn things to change your life. You know what I mean? So hold it. I mean, this is great advice. Find the best team, find a team that you trust, concentrate your holdings in them, and hold the damn thing. Hold it. In fact, I will tell you that so far in NFTs, and this is the flip side, So far in my NFT experience, the only time that I've lost is when I sold. The only time that I've lost is when I've sold. And I'm gonna show you. You know what? I wasn't gonna do. This is unplanned. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you something that I looked up today. Let me see. Over here to a browser. This is gonna rip my heart out. You guys are gonna. I want some pity on this one. I mean, not too much pity because I still like. You can't. There's. I'm not gonna get any pity for this. There's no way. All right, hold on. Let me. I'm gonna pull this over. Okay, you guys are not gonna believe this shit. Okay, I can't believe I'm sharing this with you guys. All right, so I'm gonna share with you my biggest flop in NFTs. Okay. My biggest flop in NFTs. This Friday, we'll just do it. We're among friends. Okay. Here we go. Big oof time. Yeah, this is my worst move. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me hold on. I'm going to prove this to you because this is Web3. I don't want anyone thinking that I'm bullshitting. Well, it'll tell me. It'll actually show up. I'll just tell you. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Sorry, guys. I'm like trying to decide like how I want to share this with you. I'm like, you know what? Let me just be as real as I possibly can. Let's see if I connect my wallet. If it'll actually show me. Yeah, here we go. So this is because everything is transparent on the old blockchain here. All right, here we go. You'll see why I wanted to share my wallet in just a minute, or connect my wallet. Okay, here we go. Window. I'm gonna share this one. Sorry. Willie D. Safe space. All right, cool. All right, I'll read your comments here in a minute. It's just that one I just saw there. All right, so check this out. So this is OpenSea, and I've Googled Fidenza. Do you guys know what Fidenza is? Big oof time. Yeah, I'm getting the big oofs. I'm getting the big oofs. Yeah, I'm sure you guys, Dusty, J Ra, Willie D, Carrots. You guys know the whole Fidenza thing. Let me know. So Fidenza was an art blocks project, and it came out. It had I mean, I could tell it had a lot of heat. All the influencers were talking about it. They were like, "Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I'm going to get 10 of them." And I was like, "Okay, well, if the influencers are going to get it, I'm going to get one." So I hopped over there, and I hopped over there, and I bought one, and I think I don't remember what I paid. I think I paid like $200 for it. Maybe, yeah, it was like 250. Somebody click this and make this an oof viral. Yeah. And so let's just look at the price. Go low to high. So let's see what it is now. Fidenza. Whoa. Oh, this one, Tyler Hobbs. There we go. All right. Now we're here. Buy now. Low to high. So 58 ETH. 58.5 ETH is the low. And really it's 60 ETH. Somebody just decided to undercut the floor. But let's 58.5. So the cheapest you can get one now is $181,600. So the cheapest one is $181,600. So J Ross says he never heard of Fidenza. So Fidenza, Tyler Hobbs, it was Art Blocks. Art Blocks was super hot at the moment. And this was a really cool project, man. Like, no, it was just like it hit the right time. Like the collectors loved it. This is all generative, and they're all one of one, and it's really cool. It's like abstract art, and it had rarity traits like the straight line versus the curvy line versus the colors, like so everything that you know about NFTs. And So I hopped in. I was looking at some of these, um, uh, because on art blocks they kind of showed you like a preview of what it looked like, and I was like, oh, that could be cool. So I went in. I think I paid like 250 bucks for it, and I was like, okay, cool. And I got this one, and it was white on white, and I was like, and it was ugly. To me, it was ugly as shit, and I was like, fuck. I can't believe I just wasted 200 bucks. This is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. Should I sell it? And I was like, no, I'm just going to keep it. I'm just going to hold it for a minute. And I was so disappointed in myself. And then the price started to go up a little bit, and I was completely shocked because it was still early in my collecting phase. And my big flaw, personally, my big flaw is that I tend to go after the art because I look at the artwork, and if the artwork is hot, that attracts me, right? So I was not attracted to the art piece that I had. So I was like, damn, dude, like look at some of these looks dope. And the one I got is like a piece of shit. And so the price started going up. Well, you already know that this is an oof story, so you know I sold it too soon. So I'll so I'll tell you what the modern floor, the current floor is 58.5. So the cheapest you can get one is $181,000, $181,600. I sold mine for 15,000. So I made money. I can't complain. I cashed out. It was too stressful. It hit 15K, and for me, I was like, I can pay off my debt. I can pay back Melissa for borrowing money for this NFT thing. I can prove that I'm not like throwing our life savings out the window. I can prove it to my family that I can do it, and my kids can eat. And so I hit the buzzer. Again, I cannot complain. I made $15,000, more or less. So it was a win. It, Profits, absolutely. It was a win, but here's why it was an oops. Because normally you'd be like, well, dude, you made 15 grand. I mean, yeah, the floor is $180,000, but whatever. So I'm just gonna go to high to low, and I'm gonna do I'm not even gonna do buy it now. So here's a bunch of pieces, right? These are the highest ones for sale. So this one's 2,500 ETH, 1,700 ETH. Oh, look, a white on white piece. That's weird. Huh. I wonder who had this one. Oh, look, it says you right there. So there's my 4.8 ETH that hit the buzzer on. Okay. So I got 4.8 ETH off of it from you. Let's see what it's being sold for now. You ready, guys? It's selling for $3.72 million. $3.72 million. Like, yeah, look at that. $3.72 million. Now, he hasn't sold it yet. This level 1, level 2, who owns it, hasn't sold it yet. But so the reason he's selling it for 3.72 million is because the properties, it's like crazy rare. Like it's really, it's a white on cream as a 1%er. So it's the top of the top of um of the Fidenza thing, because it was the colors that ended up being the property trait that everybody went after. So I sold a $3.72 million painting for 15,000 bucks. So that is why I hold. That's why I'm just like, you know what? I'm not selling anything ever again. It's really hard for me to sell stuff. I do tend to lose when I sell because I sell too early. Um, so let's see. Uh, J-Ross says either all the caffeine today or the story or both. Dude, I'm telling you, right? Kara says, this is so tricky. I have some friends holding a lot of geometry runners right now as well, wishing they had not been holders. Yeah, that's true. Right. Yeah. I definitely have a couple of, I've got a couple of art blocks that were by an artist who in the traditional fine art market actually has name. Like, he's not a major name, but I recognized it, and I was like, oh shit, he's going to do an NFT through art blocks. And it was um it was like their main launch. I was like, I'm getting it. And it has not moved, has done nothing. It does nothing. Dusty says, if anyone wants to buy one of my Henny, it will be 150 ETH now. For sure, for sure. Misfit Corner says, hey Todd, do you have 3.2 million I can borrow? No, I don't, because I sold too early. Anyway, it's, yeah, it is really hard. Look, if we knew the future, these decisions would be super easy, right? Like, you just do the best you can. Again, I can't complain. I made money, and I ended up taking that and putting it into something else, and that did okay. So it's been growing, right? It's just that, um, I should have trusted the market a little more, because the market was telling me to hold it and my gut was telling me to hold it. But I hadn't seen, to that point, to be honest, I hadn't seen an NFT hit $15,000. I hadn't seen it. Like, it just hadn't been in my vision. I hadn't been around long enough to see, like, too much stuff. And the market in 2021 hadn't really hit that pop where everything was like 10, 20, $30,000, or it felt like everything was that much. So yeah, going back to the article, like, I advise all you guys, and this is just as a friend, again, like, I could be wrong. Do your own research. I'm not a sage. I'm probably wrong on most things, but for me personally, the way that I approach these projects now is like, I wait until after mint, and then I see what it looks like, and then if I find one that I really dig, I buy it. Or for the ones that are a little out of reach, I just wait, because I'm just like, okay, screw it, I'll figure out a way to earn it. I'll either something else will come around, and I'll find a way to get it, whether it's through hard work or whether it's through selling something. I mean, hell, look what happens when you hold stuff. I mean, you hold stuff, you get airdrops, you get ApeCoin and all this kind of stuff. Like, half these people, half of their net worth comes from just holding this and getting all the free shit that comes from it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the magic of the space. So hold it, see what happens. You could always sell off the spin-offs and the airdrops and try to climb up the ladder. Like, I have a laundry list. I probably never will be able to own all the pieces that I want to own, that are on my little want list, but it doesn't matter. That's kind of the game, right? I think any collector is not gonna be able to do that. Carrot says, good night, Carrots. Yeah, go pick up your daughter. Go do that. Pearl Venus is pronounced Henai. Yes, Henai. Keen eye for the Henai. Anyway, guys, that is actually it for tonight. I wanted to share, especially on the collector side. I know we get a little bit stressed out, and it's Friday night, and I was like, you know what, man, like, the game doesn't have to be as hard as we make it. You find a project out there, and you just hold on. Don't buy it if you don't want to keep it. I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe that over time, the people that hold these NFTs are going to be the ones that make more money than the flippers, right? Doesn't mean you can't flip, doesn't mean you can't sell. It's definitely things I'm selling right now, trying to get some cash on, because I'm just not into the project anymore, or whatever. Or just, trying to get some cash to put into something else. That's what everybody does. No harm in it. But I certainly have a majority that I just keep. And if 10% of the ones that I keep end up hitting top tier, or even remotely near blue chip, then we're good. You know what I mean? And it's the same with you. So that's my ideas. That's my thinking. I love you guys. Hope this provided some value for you. And it's Friday. Like, let's go do something. We should go out for drinks. I wish we had virtual drinks. We should have virtual drinks somewhere. But no, I'm actually probably gonna go to bed. I've been up since like 4 this morning. But I love you guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, have a good weekend. And I'll see you guys on the Discord. And I will see you guys in the next stream. Thank you guys for coming. And I'll talk to you guys.